What's up, guys? No one here, guys. Start this one by plugging my last video. That was an exclusive interview with Nikita where he discussed a ton of things not talked about yet and elaborated on more. It is not the one that he did on stream with Twitch on the stage. It's a newer one that he did exclusively with me, where he answered specific questions that were from my Q&A in the Discord, as well as a ton of the top topics for Escape from Tarkov and a lot of questions answered around the release of Escape from Tarkov. So please go check that out. Lots of stuff that you definitely are going to be asking questions about if you're still interested in the game. I'll pin it in the description, top comment, and at the end of this video. Thank you, guys. Also, I'm going to add that I was going to post this video yesterday, but BSG put this tweet up where it says something about not shooting as much, in particular for the mortars. It's possible there's some raids where the mortars don't fire, but I think it's more likely they just slowed them down. They were shooting a lot initially, and they seem to be less now. It's also possible the locations where they land will change, but haven't noticed it yet. So stay tuned to my Twitter and join the Discord for the minute-by-minute stuff, both linked below. But for now, everything I'm about to talk about is staying. It's just that the mortars might fire a little slowly or slower. Major takeaways for this patch are the mortars do not land everywhere randomly. They are in specific locations on specific maps, so don't feel like you can't play those maps named. I'll show you where they land in a second and how to know they're coming with this new item. Also, the new transit points pop up with a orange prompt. When you walk onto them, that prompt will pop up. If you hit F on that prompt, you must use that transit. So be careful not to hit F if you have that prompt on your screen, if you don't want to use that transit. Also, if you just sit there, it won't extract you. You need to get to the normal green extract. Now, yesterday we got an actually really important patch for Escape from Tarkov. We now have the ability to move from map to map unlimited amounts of time through these constant transit points, as well as these mortar strike events, both of which are significant for the full release of Escape from Tarkov, which again, important to check out that last interview. But past the marathon task, there is no real reason to use these transits, but it will put you in the right mindset for full release, since that is what we will be doing. Now, for the mortars, you have to do one thing, and that's at least go to a mortar zone and complete the first task from Prapor so that you can get the eye. The eye allows you to know when you are actually in danger of being hit by a mortar strike, of which people can call in with the blue flare now if they are further down the quest line. If you kill someone and they call in a mortar strike on their position, you'll get the buzzes to tell you you're in danger of being hit. If you don't have the eye, which is, again, pretty simple, you just need to be in a zone where the mortars will be hitting, you will not know that that's coming, and you're probably going to get schwacked. These things hit hard. I would implore all of you to go get that device, which is given as starting equipment for the second task. Past that, there's a bunch of tasks that will get you XP and rubles if you want. I'll break those down after I explain the mortars themselves. So for now, the mortars are dropping on Shoreline, on Resorts, and on the farm. I've done several raids on Resort, Shoreline, and they seem to keep dropping on the Smuggler Camp, aka the farm, but they should also spawn on the Resort as well, so be careful with that. And if you have the eye, you'll see it pop up in the bottom right. You'll know where they're going to be landing. On Woods, they're hitting the med tents and the vehicle exit village. On Reserve, they're hitting between the Knights and the Northeast Field. I haven't seen them hit the Knights yet. I've only seen Northeast Field. Then on Customs, they're hitting Ice Cream Shack and apparently between Fortress and Crack House, but again, I've only seen them hit Ice Cream Shack. But they will hit into Old Construction and a lot of places around the bridge, even closer to our UAF. It's a pretty wide area. These circles aren't perfect. Mortars will fall constantly every raid, and they will have a break of about a minute or so between salvos, which again, with the tweet that they put out yesterday, it could be a bit longer. So if you need to cross a mortar zone and don't hear any thumps for about 10 seconds, just start running. They are not like mines. They will land in predetermined RNG points. So it is luck whether or not you get hit by one while running through. It's super handy to have the eye though, which will tell you where strikes are happening, as well as in general, a buzz to tell you if you're in danger of being hit. You can be pretty close to where the mortars are hitting, but if you're not hearing that buzzing, you're good to go. Once you start hearing the buzzing, try and put some distance between you and the last place that the mortars hit. Airdrops are part of this event, but they are unique to the event as they will only hold radar components needed for the tasks connected to the event. So if you aren't doing the tasks, no need to run out there and get it. It's just the items for the task, which are those radar components. These mortar areas are actually pretty specific open areas for PMCs due to the tasks, where the second task requires you to get to an airdrop in the middle of the mortar zone. There's other tasks that require you to go to specific areas as well, like strike on shoreline and woods. So it's a pretty good rat strat to be waiting at these areas or be waiting for somebody to go to these areas if you need to get those PMC kills. We're going to go through the tasks now. And again, you don't need to do these tasks, but doing just the first one, I know will be handy to have the early warning about mortars from the initial equipment that you get from that second task. So I would do it, but it's up to you. Task 2 requires you to kill 10 targets on any of the mortar locations and turn in 2 of the radar spare parts from the airdrops. The 10 kills can be gotten on the entire map, not just where the mortars are, by the way. So if you're on customs, just kill 10 things on customs and you're good to go. And again, those airdrops are obvious. They sound like airdrops. They look like airdrops. They drop right where the mortars are hitting. And there will be those 3x3 radar component boxes in there. You need to get 2 of those out. Next one is to get 2 electronic warfare devices. These can be found very commonly on rogue USECs. I got 2 my first try just by scavving lighthouse and looting the rogues on the roofs after running up there. The rogues are a coin toss if you haven't fought them recently. They're either going to beam you or don't even look at you. So the scav is a good option for farming them, in my opinion. You do, however, need to kill 10 rogues, which I eventually got just by sniping them, but it's a tall order when so many people are doing the same thing, so good luck. Again, if you're looking for Shooter Born in Heaven or PMC kills on Lighthouse, you'll know where to find people consistently, even more so now. The 4th tasks require you to stash an electronic warfare device and a spare parts from the previous tasks on shoreline and woods. Neither of these items are on the fleet at the time of the recording, so you will need to go back and get more in your own raids, or in the case of the radar parts, get your own in raid if you mess up. You stash the EW device at the weather station in the hut. Try not to leave without picking up the yellow flare at this barrel on the corner nearby, and then you stash the spare parts at the old sawmill near UN exit at this box here in the barn on woods. Next, you'll use the yellow flare that you picked up on shoreline, and if you lose it, you'll have to go back and get another one or loot it elsewhere. It can also be found on the top of West Wing Resort, the top of the weather building at the weather station, and the top of the weather radar tower itself. Farm up as many as you can to make it easier to roll through. So when you use the flare, it will call in a mortar strike, so you need to run until the eye tells you it's safe. A unique airdrop will drop where you can get the UAV jamming device. You then need to take that jamming device to Lighthouse through the transit, not the normal extract, through the transit point, and then stash it at the dock building on the right when you get to those 2 dock buildings on the coast of Lighthouse. Important reminder, the transit is orange, not green, and will show a prompt to use it. Once you hit F, you must use that exit, so be careful. When you complete that task, you will get the achievement as well as 3 blue flares, which will call in a mortar strike on your position. So be sure to be in a very safe location or be running away when you call it in. As to the usefulness of calling in a mortar strike on your own position, that's on you to decide, but I imagine they can be handy at times, maybe more specifically against AI if you're getting swarmed, or if players have you trapped somewhere, maybe it'll make them run away. The last task that we know of requires you to collect 25 radar spare parts. Those are from the airdrops, and 15 EW devices. Those are from the rogues, 4 forts, Vulcans, and a PKP, as well as a ton of XP and rubles, but you don't need that for the achievement. That last task that I mentioned gets you the achievement. You also get more of those blue mortar strike flares. I do not know how long this event will be going for, but I imagine it will be for a while, potentially up until the Halloween event, of which I was told you do not want to miss this year by the lead designer of Escape from Tarkov. One of the subjects in my latest Q&A with him and Nikita from TwitchCon. Again, you can check that out in the description and the top comment if you have not already. Otherwise, that's all for now, guys. Thanks for the support already. Follow me on Twitter and join the Discord for the minute-by-minute stuff, both link below. Click all the buttons on the screen or come by a stream for more. You can check out my other channels for other games right here. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. See you guys.